Last week, I decided to make flags for the 7 Pantala Wings of Fire tribes. I got a very good response on that video, so I decided to make another one. In this video, I will design 7 flags once more. All 7 of those flags will be based on Pantala. There will be one for Wasp's Hive Wings, the Silkwing Parliament, Saplings, Poison Wings, the new Hive Wings, the Chrysalis, and finally, the Beetle Wings. Before we get started, if you're new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content, so you'll never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. First, we have Wasp's Hive Wings. The Hive Wings under her were run similar to a totalitarian police state. States like that like to use bright, violent colors. The most common one is red, so I knew I had to use that color. I decided to include sun imagery because Pantala is a sun-filled region. Suns are also used to represent God and his power. Seeing as Clear Sight is a god/prophet to the Hive Wings, I felt as though it would fit. I decided to add stripes of color to the flag, but it looked too dull still, so I decided to make the edges of color more jagged, in order to make the flag look more hostile and violent. Here's the final result. Next are the new Hive Wings. At the end of the arc, Queen Jewel took over control of the Hive Wings. I figured that she wouldn't want any reminders of the old regime, so she would redesign and remake Hive Wing society, starting with the banners that are showcased everywhere, no doubt. The old flag was very violent in its colors and its jagged edges didn't help, so Queen Jewel would likely use soft edges and comforting colors and images. And what is more circular than a sun? The sun, instead of being full like it used to be, now looks as though it's setting, showing how the sun is setting on the old Hive Wing regime, or perhaps the sun is rising on a new Hive Wing era. Another meaningful shape that is round in appearance is a flower. The flower represents their dedication to renewing the former great force of Pantala, growth, and also beauty. It is also a symbol found on the next flag I'm doing, the Silkwing Parliament, in order to make the two of them look similar. I debated on what colors to use for a while. Red and gold are always good, but it looked a bit too much like the old flag when I used those colors. I still have no idea what I want to do as of writing and reading this, so just look at the image yourself. Next, I did a flag for the Silkwing Parliament. Not much is known about them as they were introduced at the end of book 15 and they weren't mentioned that much in the guide. I decided to use the colors purple and blue even though they are uncommon in flags, in order to demonstrate the freedom that Silkwings now have. In the past, Silkwings have had a hard time getting certain dyes. However, now they are free to weave and do whatever they may please. The wing is also a symbol of their freedom, as Silkwings can now use their wings to travel wherever they may please without getting permission from the Hive Wings. The wing is also a symbol of change, as Silkwings only get their wings after dragon puberty. I put a flower to the left of the wing to represent the forests that were lost in the tree wars, and also because they are pretty, and if there's one thing Tui wants us to know about the Silkwings, it is that they are pretty. I decided to use the colors blue and purple on the flag because blue represents wisdom and purple represents royalty. The Silkwing royal family was possibly wiped out around the time the Tree Wars ended. I think it's unsure, but I think it would be cool if they, Anastasia'd the Silkwings. Anyways, here's the final results. Now it's time for the Saplings. The Saplings are described as tree huggers, so the first thing I did was slap a tree onto the center of the flag. It is a bit complex, but if Bhutan gets a dragon and Spain gets a coat of arms, I think I'm allowed to use a tree. The tree is brown and green, typical colors for trees. Brown represents being grounded and humility. Green represents gracefulness and respect for nature. I put a little banner under the tree with the old Pantalian language. It represents their heritage and it means something cool in their language. I don't know what it is, make up your own ideas in the comments. Finally, let's get to the background. It is blue. Blue represents nobility, wisdom, and the sky. And I think that's all for this flag, so let's move on to their angry cousins, the Poison Wings. The Poison Wings are very violent and they are warmongers. Two colors that fit with that are red and black. I decided to use them and make them each take up half the flag, cut in the way one would cut a sandwich, if they're not, weird. That made it look like the Ancom flag, so I put a spear in the middle to separate the colors, and also to represent war. It looked too empty still, so I put a Venus flytrap and a sprout. The sprout represents growth and the youth of its leaders when it was formed. The Venus flytrap represents their fighting prowess and the poison jungle. Both symbols are a reminder of the special ability of the Leaf Wings, Leaf Speak. Finally, I changed the colors of the flag because it looked too anarchist still, and now it looks like Christmas. Here's the flag for the Chrysalis. I was debating on whether or not making one would even make sense, as they already have a symbol, but I think it could be a cool thing that they could put up in their hideouts. I started off with the idea of a leaf. The red leaf is used as a symbol for those who ally themselves with the Chrysalis, but adding just a leaf would make it look too much like Canada. The next obvious symbol was a chrysalis. I debated using an oval around the leaf to make it look like the leaf was in a chrysalis, but that would look dumb. So I decided to add stripes around the sides to look like the lines of a chrysalis. I don't know how well that paid off, to be honest. For the color, the leaf is red, or at least it starts off as red. I didn't want to use the same colors as the Hive Wing flag, so I had to come up with some other colors that would look good with red, originally. As the script says, that might be entirely inaccurate with the colors. The script is being written before the speed paint. Sorry. But since I literally drew this one like 2 minutes before I started this, I can tell you with all certainty that I used the colors from the Beetle Wing flag, which is up next, in order to show their connection with the ancient Beetle Wings. Here's the final result. I hope it's at least somewhat accurate to what I described. And finally we have the Beetle Wings. Not much is known about the Beetle Wings pre-clear sight, so I decided to use post-clear sight Beetle Wings. The largest emblem on the flag, which will likely take the most time to make look somewhat okay in the speed draw, is the beetle. The reason for using a beetle is obvious. The tribe is called the Beetle Wings. Beetles also represent protection, determination, and war. The scarab beetle, which is meant to resemble the most, represents rebirth, resurrection, wealth, good luck, and fortune. Below the beetle is a teardrop. The teardrop represents water, which brings life to Pantala. I initially put it in because I forgot only mind readers have teardrop scales, but well, it still fits. The colors used on the flag are blue and green. The blue represents wisdom and water. The green represents trees and grace. And here's the final result. Those were all the flags I decided to do today. Which one was your favorite? Comment down below. And if you want to see any more flags, maybe some of the more obscure Wings of Fire factions like the Enclave or the Outlaws, or if you even want to see the Warrior Cat clans, also feel free to tell me. If you liked this video, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those who've already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Peace, Rogan out.